It was supposed to be just another breezy segment on Live with Kelly and Mark, a lighthearted morning banter, celebrity chit-chat, maybe a laugh or two about royal headlines. But what unfolded on that stage turned into an unfiltered takedown, the likes of which Meghan Markle has rarely faced on live television. Kelly Ripa, known for her wit, and her husband Mark Consuelos, famed for his charming candor, didn't mince words when the topic of Meghan's ever-growing PR machine came up. And what began as sarcasm quickly escalated into a verbal roast that Meghan herself allegedly described as like an acid burn, deliberate, painful, and humiliating. This wasn't cheap tabloid gossip or anonymous palace insiders. This was live, nationally syndicated television, raw, unscripted, and very real. What struck most viewers wasn't just what Kelly and Mark said, but how confidently and casually they said it, as if they were echoing what most Americans were already thinking but afraid to admit. Every time she talks, Kelly quipped with her classic raised eyebrow, "It's like she's trying to win an Oscar for Best Victim." The audience erupted. Mark chimed in, "Seriously, it's not a documentary if you're the producer, the star, and the only source." A brutal reference to Harry and Meghan, their Netflix series that many critics panned as self-indulgent and revisionist. Meghan's carefully curated image, already cracking under public scrutiny, took another hit, and this time it came from daytime royalty. What makes this moment particularly powerful is who delivered it. Kelly and Mark aren't late-night political satirists or gossip columnists, they're America's daytime sweethearts. Their criticism wasn't political, nor was it tinged with royalist nostalgia. It was grounded, honest, and felt like the voice of a fatigued public tired of the Sussexes' one-note narrative of perpetual victimhood. And the reaction from Meghan's camp? Immediate and furious. A close associate of the Sussexes reportedly told Variety that Meghan was shaken and deeply offended, considering the comments to be a misogynistic character assassination masquerading as humor. But viewers weren't buying it. If anything, the reaction highlighted Meghan's continuing inability to accept public criticism, especially when it comes from people she can't control or intimidate. Let's not forget, this isn't the first time public figures have questioned Meghan's sincerity or narrative. From Piers Morgan's unapologetic skepticism to Trevor Noah's carefully worded shade at award shows, the pattern is growing. But Ripa and Consuelos took it further by blending humor with cutting truth. They didn't just question Meghan's narrative, they tore it apart with facts, wit, and mainstream confidence. Their roast also struck a nerve because it addressed a larger issue: Meghan's relentless pursuit of media control. Whether it's alleged interference with Spotify over editorial direction or her strategic friendships with high-profile figures like Oprah and Ellen, Meghan's public image has always appeared more orchestrated than organic. Kelly and Mark didn't just see through it, they broadcasted that reality to millions. It's also telling that this all occurred during a week where Meghan was already under media heat for allegedly shopping around for a new podcast deal after the Spotify fallout. Critics have accused her of being more focused on building a brand than building truth. As Kelly noted, "It's hard to trust a story that keeps changing every time a camera turns on." To add salt to the wound, polls following the segment showed a significant uptick in public sentiment siding with Kelly and Mark. Social media flooded with hashtags like Team Ripa and Enough Meghan. One trending tweet read, "When the nicest people on TV call you out, maybe it's time to reflect instead of react." But instead of introspection, sources claim Meghan is exploring potential legal routes to protect her reputation. A reputation which, by now, many argue is self-inflicted. After all, how long can one wear the crown of victimhood before it starts to look like a mask? At its core, this was more than a media moment, it was a cultural barometer. When beloved mainstream hosts like Kelly and Mark are brave enough to say what many feel and do it unapologetically, it signals a shift. The public, even in Hollywood and daytime TV, is growing weary of curated sob stories and self-serving documentaries. Meghan Markle may have mastered the art of public relations, but Kelly and Mark just reminded the world of something more powerful: authenticity. And no PR team, no matter how expensive, can spin away a truth that's delivered with laughter, facts, and the kind of honesty that leaves a mark. So as Meghan fumes behind the closed gates of Montecito, it might be time to ask, is the world finally over the Markle fairy tale? Or was it never buying it to begin with? If recent events are any indication, the Markle fairy tale was never as universally enchanting as Meghan hoped. From their dramatic royal exit to the carefully staged Netflix docuseries and a Spotify deal that fizzled out with more noise than substance, it's become clear that the public's tolerance for curated victimhood is wearing thin. The once sympathetic narrative of a misunderstood duchess escaping a rigid monarchy has slowly morphed into a tale of calculated media manipulation, and now it's unraveling in real time. Kelly and Mark's takedown wasn't an isolated jab, it was a reflection of a wider cultural shift. When daytime hosts, typically known for neutrality, feel comfortable enough to joke about the Sussexes' contradictions, it shows just how far Meghan's credibility has fallen. Audiences aren't just skeptical, they're exhausted. The constant cycle of drama, accusations, and polished PR campaigns no longer feels like courage, it feels like a business model. And perhaps the most damning truth? The very platform Meghan spent years building is now being used to question her intentions. Not by royalists, not by tabloids, but by regular, respected voices in entertainment. The facade is cracking. And behind the glossy speeches and high-fashion appearances, the world is beginning to see something far more calculated than